Hi, I'm Sophie Krier, and I will tell you a little bit about the roles that stories played in a field research project I did with my colleague Henriette Waal in a former rural area of the Netherlands, a peat meadow landscape of about 400 hectares, destined to become new nature. And our intention was to research the role of man in this transforming landscape. One question that I would like to speak about in relation to your DESIS talk is the question of, can storytelling be seen as the possibility of opening up a new public sphere where dialogue and action can be shared, and ultimately also as a way to improve and bring more quality to the public domain. I think this is very interesting, especially if you connect it to the idea of storytelling as being a poetic action, and I would even say poetry in action. So this combination of telling and making, as in the Greek notion of poiesis. So what was the role of telling and making in our project? Basically, the telling part was really orchestrating many different voices of people we encountered and spent time to, sometimes up to 3 days. And these were inhabitants, residents, nature volunteers, maintenance technicians, hunters, policymakers, but also scientists and thinkers from outside of the area. So many different voices with many different stories, ranging from a crazy biodiversity ritual, like handing out a cake to the bird spotter who spots a specific bird after the winter, the Guto. They actually hand out a cake for him. Or more painful stories, stories of expropriation by farmers, for instance. How do you negotiate all of this and how do you reframe it? Well, we try to do it in 3 ways. The first way being a very physical way. We made a field classroom, we call it. So it's what it is, it's an outdoor classroom. You can take classes, follow courses there, and local nature organizations can do what they already do, but now in the open, with also the possibility of perhaps working together. On another level, this is also a sort of symbolic conversation piece and meditation place about our place in nature, because we engraved phrases from the people that we met in the benches, and the phrases very often contradict each other. So this is really a place to start a discussion. And the second thing I want to just mention shortly is the more soft part of the project, a series of seasonal adventures that we programmed. On this side, an adventure called Honey Hunting, and adventurers have a specific time, they have a specific season, and they have a specific temperature assigned to it. So before sunset, 5 degrees Celsius, hunting season, and the guide in this case is a hunter with his dog Floris, who's called Joep, by the way, in the field, because that's faster to call. But so the idea of these routes was really to offer the possibility to enact and experience the landscape through the lens and through the eyes of a specific user of that landscape. And in this case, the guide was a wilderness guide and philosopher who took a group to try to survive for about a night in this polder, and you could wonder why, because can you still survive in the Netherlands? Well, it's quite hard because everything has been so flattened out and engineered. But that was precisely our point, was that we wanted to reintroduce some danger and some adventure in our relationship to nature. And so one of the things we made was this gut parka that I'm wearing, and it helps to retain the body heat when you get undercooled, because that's one of the actually only leftover dangers in the Netherlands. If you really want to try to survive, it's the danger to get undercooled. And it's inspired by Eskimo skin parkas, by the way. So just to conclude, I mean, for me, and this is also linked to surviving, without culture, man cannot survive. So we really need to reconnect to the landscape inside us. And for me, storytelling is a bit like trying to shape a collective landscape, trying to also learn to read it first before you can actually shape it. And for me, this is where there is a lot still to think about, also in this relationship between walking, writing, storytelling, and moving through the landscape. How are these two notions actually linked? And I think the link is very intimate, and it would be nice to think about that a little bit more. Thank you. Bye.